The Coffee Club on WJBF is brought to you by Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
It's a sizzling summer Saturday in the CSRA. I'll let you know that the rain continues tomorrow in your full Viper 6 forecast.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 6, a local police organization teaches citizens how to be responsible gun owners. And as temperatures rise, doctors warn how it can be a risk for people with diabetes. And it is that time of year again as local nonprofits help families stock up on school supplies.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tiffany Hobbs. Thank you so much for joining us for News Channel 6 at 6. Coverage you can count on begins with an officer-involved shooting taking place downtown Augusta. Richmond County Sheriff's deputies responded to Ellis Street around 11:30 this morning for a call of a person with a firearm. During the incident, a deputy and the person were shot at least one time. The deputy was taken to the hospital for treatment and the person died at the scene. The GBI is now investigating the incident and an autopsy has been scheduled. One person is dead following a shooting in Grovetown. The incident happened early this morning at a home on Derby Lane. The coroner identifying the victim as 35-year-old Alan White. He was shot at least once and died at the scene. An autopsy is scheduled. A local police department is about to wrap up its very first Citizens Academy course. For one of those last assignments, officers took the class to the shooting range. Hannah Latier has more.
Grovetown Police Department has been training a group of 7 people who live in the community about what all goes into law enforcement.
They're going to see what we do on a daily basis and have a little bit of idea of when they see things in the news, it may not always be what it seemed to be.
Over the 10-week course, the students have done exercises like reenacting real scenarios officers have experienced, doing crime scene analysis, and criminal investigations.
We did 2 scenario-based trainings. Some of the things that there were real life scenarios for them that I think for any civilian going through, it'd be mentally challenging.
And on Saturday, they learned how to properly handle a firearm.
They all, I think, going to leave here with a better understanding of the weapon, much more safety conscious about handling the weapon, and much more confident in themselves to shoot the weapon.
Students in the course say it helps law enforcement and civilians find common ground.
By taking the time to see what it is that the police do and why they do it, it helps us to better understand when situations come up where we're wanting to protest and be upset. It's like, wait, take a step back, let's evaluate and move forward.
Assistant Chief Eastman believes the course has been a success, but they do want to make some changes for the future.
We want to go back to the drawing board, see what we need to do to retune what we are doing right now, and then we're going to make a decision on when the next class will start. But it'll be in the fall.
Students in this class graduate Thursday, July 13th. In Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Thank you for that report, Hannah. The Aiken County Coroner's Office is investigating a fatal hit and run. Authorities say the victim was found this morning at 6:40 on the side of Storm Branch Road near Silver Bluff Road. The coroner identifying the victim to be 91-year-old Josephine Smiley. An autopsy has been scheduled for Tuesday in Newberry. Meteorologist Miller High should be mowing your lawn at least once a week this time of year and making sure not to overwater or underwater for proper maintenance. The recent rise in heat has doctors warning people about just how dangerous the summer heat can be for people with diabetes. According to the Georgia Department of Public Health, more than 1 million Georgians have diabetes. Health experts say people with high sugar levels in their bodies should use fluids more fast, meaning diabetics can be dehydrated more quickly, and the director of Savannah's dedicated senior medical center says she's given IV fluids to a number of dehydrated patients this week.
The scary part is they may not realize that they're having issues until it's really late. So we have been seeing people coming in saying that they're feeling more fatigued, more lightheaded, dizzy, and at that point we're often trying to give them some fluids here in the office.
Health experts say the most important thing to focus on is conscious hydration, meaning drinking water even if you don't feel thirsty. And if you feel fatigued, don't hesitate to call your doctor. Local nonprofits, including the United Way, are helping children and families stock up on school supplies. Stuff the Bus returns to CSRA for its annual school supply drive. The United Way partnering with local companies, organizations, and stores to host drop-off locations. Collections began on July 1st, and if you are looking for a place to drop off donations, the main event happens at the end of July.
So on the 28th at the Kroc Center, we will have Richmond County School System and Columbia County School System there, represented with 2 school buses each. And then on the 29th, the same for Burke County, they will have one of their school buses.
If you want to donate, we have a drop-off location at our main office right here at Television Park during business hours. There are other local back-to-school events throughout the month of July, and we have a list of that on WJBF.com. Coming up, a humid evening. We'll have more on that with Miller Hyatt for your full weather forecast when we return.
The WJBF Live Viper 6
And create new programs to streamline hospital discharge to appropriate community settings. Coming up, the latest on the cargo ship in a New Jersey dock is still blazing after 3 days. We have those details after the break. But first, here's a look at your winning South Carolina lottery numbers. Your midday pick 3 numbers are 2, 0, 4. And your pick 4 numbers are 4, 0, 3, 8. And the fireball is 2.
on News Channel 6.
The cargo ship in the port of Newark continues to burn, nearly 72 hours after it began. 2 families now mourning the loss of 2 firefighters who died battling the blaze. And now there are concerns the ship could capsize. Here are the details.
The fire ignited Wednesday night on the 10th deck of the Grande Costa d'Avorio. The flames fueled by the gas in hundreds of cars being loaded onto that Italian ship for export.
Our units, evacuate yourself immediately. Sound your air horns. All units, sound your air horns. Evacuate yourself immediately.
By Friday, the fire was burning in other parts of the ship. Sources telling ABC News the city's 2.5-inch hose lines are incompatible with the Italian ship's 1-inch connections. Officials say the nearly 50,000-ton vessel is listing and could capsize. Crews now working to punch holes in the ship to allow trapped water to drain out.
It is currently listing 3 degrees toward the dock. A 5 to 6 degree shift is the danger zone.
Officials also say they are monitoring for any environmental impact.
There's no reported release of oil from the vessel as of yet. We have active air monitoring that's going on.
2 firefighters were killed battling that fire, 45-year-old Augusto Augie Akabu and 49-year-old Wayne Bear Brooks.
They were our colleagues, our friends, and our brother.
The 2 families now left to grieve.
We'll find a way in the next couple of days, weeks, and months to get through this. Please, I ask everyone out there to continue to pray for the families of these 2 young men.
The White House says President Biden has spoken to both families and offered his condolences. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, the Braves look for a win in Game 2, and we'll check in on the 2023 U.S. Women's Open. Kira Goldstein has sports next.
Helping people.
Choose the weather, but you can choose your weather app. Go with the most accurate and most trusted, the Live Viper 6 mobile app. Download it today. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
It is the second to last day of Peach Jam, and there have been many notable names at the event, from college players to scouts and even some current stars of the NBA. LeBron James has been in attendance for most of the tournament as he supports his team's strive for greatness. They finished third in the E16D division, but LeBron posted on Instagram that he's looking forward to coming back stronger next year, and he's really enjoyed meeting a new generation of ballers. Yesterday was the second round of the Palmetto Amateur, and at the end of play, we had a three-way tie near the top that included Georgia Southern's Reese Coleman. Aiken's Brian Quackenbush was also near the top and looking to make some moves in round 3. Now, round 3 is currently still in play, but we'll have an updated leaderboard tonight on News Channel 6 at 11 as we keep an eye on the 2023 Palmetto Amateur. Last night, the Braves took on the Rays for Game 1 of a very highly anticipated series. Atlanta got off to a slow start, but in the top of the 4th, Braves down by 1. Sean Murphy sends one deep to right field. That ball is gone for a 2-run homer, and that would be the final score as the Braves got the narrow victory over Tampa Bay 2-1. The Braves have the best record in baseball, followed closely by the Rays, who lead the American League. So this is bound to be an exciting series. And for that reason, we will definitely have highlights later tonight on Game 2. Spencer Strider is set to get the start on the mound for the Braves, and first pitch will be at 7:15 p.m. We'll have those highlights later on. And finally, yesterday was the second round of the U.S. Women's Open in Pebble Beach, California. And the player of the day was Bailey Tardy. Here's her first shot on the par 3 7th hole. Now, it's a great shot, but let's take a look at that backspin as the ball comes back to the hole. Really incredible placement. Tardy would finish atop the leaderboard at the end of the second round at 7 under. And then we have Rose Zhang seeking to become the 8th player to win both the U.S. Women's Open and the U.S. Women's Amateur. First shot on the par 3 17th hole, Zhang with a beautiful tee shot as she gets a great bounce on the green. The ball rolls closer to the hole for a nice setup, and Zhang would birdie 17 to finish the day at 1 over, tied for 11th. So with that, let's take a quick look at our leaderboard. Atop the board, we have Tardy still at the top, and we'll check in on how round 3 is going. We see that behind Tardy, she's got a 2-stroke lead on Kim and Corpus, and then in 4th at 3 under is Ryu. Now we have Rose Zhang in there tied for 9th at 1 under. We'll make sure to check in on her as she's our ANWA champion, and we'll keep up with this tournament as play concludes tomorrow. That does it for sports. We'll be right back.
July 4th on MeTV, WJBF 6.2.
This week on the People's Court, cheer, squad, squabble.
Why did you have to yank her out in the middle of the year? Why make that decision in the middle of the year and hurt your daughter that way?
Monday morning at 10 on News Channel 6.
For IHOP fans, there is a new item hitting the menu. Pancake
WJBF 6.2.
This week on the People's Court, cheer, squad, squabble.
Why did you have to yank her out in the middle of the year? Why make that decision in the middle of the year and hurt your daughter that way?
Monday morning at 10 on News Channel 6.
For IHOP fans, there is a new item hitting the menu. Pancake tacos. There are 4 different pancake tacos to choose from. The chicken gravy pancake taco is filled with crispy chicken, hash browns, country gravy, and pickles. And if you're in the mood for something sweeter, there's a strawberry cheesecake version with cheesecake mousse, fresh strawberries, and chocolate chips. There is also a classic breakfast pancake taco with eggs, bacon, and cheese. The last one is a caramel banana version with cheesecake mousse, vanilla and caramel sauce, bananas, and chocolate chips. They're available through July 30th, and the price for 3 pancake tacos is $6.
Wow, it's making me hungry.
Breakfast of champions, am I right?
Yeah, I love some breakfast food. And speaking of food, you could probably like fry an egg.
Yeah.
It feels like you fry an egg on the sidewalk. It's that hot here. So storms are on the way as well for tomorrow.
Well, that is our report for now. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to join us again at 11 o'clock. Have a good evening.
Let's take another look at next week.
More summer heat and summer storms ahead. I'll have details in your Viper 6 forecast.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 11, a local police organization teaches citizens how to be responsible gun owners. Plus, as temperatures rise, doctors warn how it could be a risk for people with diabetes. And the status of Georgia's economy and what state officials say are Georgia's goals, as your News at 11 starts now.
Live from Television Park, This is WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tiffany Hobbs. Thank you so much for joining us for News Channel 6 at 11. Coverage you can count on begins with an officer-involved cold front on Monday is music to my ears.
Yes, I'm waiting for it. It'll be just refreshing air.
We deserve it.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, the latest in a manhunt for a murder suspect that escaped from a Pennsylvania prison. We have those details when we return. But first, the winning numbers for tonight's South Carolina lottery are pick 3, 5, 2, 1. And the pick 4 winning numbers 1, 4, 7, 9. The fireball is 7. The Palmetto Cash 5 numbers 5, 10, 16, 29, 30, and the power up is 2.
With high inflation,
The WJBF Live Viper 6 Skyview Network is sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service.
A massive manhunt underway in Pennsylvania for a murder suspect, Michael Burham. Authorities describing him as a self-taught survivalist, and they are now searching rugged terrain, warning residents to be vigilant. Here's Chuck Severson with the details.
On Saturday, authorities expanded the search for Michael Burham, who escaped from a Pennsylvania jail just weeks after he was captured in South Carolina, following a days-long multi-state manhunt. The 34-year-old suspect facing homicide and rape charges in 2 separate cases in Jamestown, New York. He was being held in the Warren County Jail in northern Pennsylvania on arson and burglary charges, and is also accused of carjacking and kidnapping a couple while trying to escape capture in May. A dozen law enforcement agencies involved in the new search.
We are considering him armed and dangerous, and we are cautioning residents if they see him or believe that he may be anywhere near them, that they should not attempt to approach him.
At 11:20 p.m. Thursday, Burham making his daring escape from the jail yard, hoisting himself on exercise equipment and lowering himself to the ground with a rope made of bed sheets. Further complicating the search, authorities say Burham is a survivalist, capable of living in the woods for days.
Our members were out conducting wooded searches. I can tell you the terrain is very rugged. It's steep. We're using aviation assets to support their operations, but there are a number of places you just have to go on foot.
Authorities warning he is a dangerous individual. A federal complaint reveals a chilling note left for his father before his capture in May, Burham allegedly writing, "I'm not sorry for what I did."
Quite unsettling. A lot of chatter about where he might be or where he could be hiding.
Authorities advising everyone in the area to lock their doors and stay vigilant. Chuck Severson, ABC News, New York.
Coming up, the Green Jackets and the Braves both look for a big win. Kara Goldstein has sports next.
July 4th, we make the clear choice. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
After back-to-back one-run losses on Thursday and Friday, the Augusta Green Jackets looked to bounce back with a win as they took on the Myrtle Beach Pelicans inside SRP Park. The Jackets got off to a tough start, but in the bottom of the 7th, Jackets trail by 2 guys on 2nd and 3rd. Ambioris Tevez smashes a double to left field to tie the game at 5. And that would be just the momentum that the Jackets needed as they go on to get the win 6-5. They'll face the Pelicans again on Sunday. First pitch is at 1:30 p.m. Well, Saturday was moving day at the 48th annual Palmetto Amateur, and half the field posted scores below par. The top of the leaderboard, however, looks familiar after the 3rd round of play at the Reserve Club at Woodside. Ford Goldsich holds the lead at 13 under, followed closely by Sahan Sandhu at 12 under. John Eric Alford is in solo 3rd at 11 under, and Reese Coleman of Anderson, South Carolina is in 4th at 9 under. Aiken resident Brian Quackenbush remains tied for 5th after a 69, his 3rd consecutive day of breaking par. The field was cut to the low 40 and ties, and 42 players advanced to Sunday's final round. With one more round to go, we'll have highlights on Sunday's finale right here on News Channel 6. The Braves took on the Rays for Game 2, and Spencer Strider got the start on the mound. Coming into Saturday, he was the league leader in strikeouts, and he kept it up early, getting Taylor Walls with the fastball. Then he blows a fastball by Jonathan Aranda. Manuel Margot can't reach that high fastball, and Strider strikes out the side, but he's not done yet. In the top of the third, Strider gets Yandy Diaz to strike out, and that makes 7 Ks throughout 3 innings. Strider's third time doing that this season. Top of the fourth, no score. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Matt Olson batting. He hits the ball up the middle, and Olson's National League leading 71st RBI puts the Braves up 1-0. Then the next batter, Sean Murphy, he blasts a 3-run shot to deep left. That's his 17th home run of the season. And it marks the Braves' 25th straight games with a home run, which is tied for their longest streak in World Series era. The Braves go on to get the win in Game 2, 6-1. And finally, Saturday was round 3 of the U.S. Women's Open, and Rose Zhang is still inching her way up the leaderboard. Atop the board, we have Nasa Hatoka at 7 under, 1 stroke ahead of Allison Corpus. Tied for third at 4 under, we have Kim Ann Tardy, and Tardy fell from the top spot after shooting 3 over in the third round. Then tied for 9th at 1 over is 2023 ANWA winner Rose Zhang. But with one final round to play, anything could happen, and we will check in on this tournament throughout the weekend. That does it for sports. We'll be right back.
Coming up, 2 goats giving cops the runaround, and we have that story after the break. Stay with us.
Sonic.
At a workout, these Arizona police officers got a workout thanks to runaway goats that refused to go down without a good fight. And thanks to body cams, it was all caught on camera. It happened this week in Glendale, Arizona. The officers say they quickly learned just how fast goats are. As escapees, they kept giving them the slip. After a while, they were finally captured and returned to a nearby farm.
I love that.
All right, well, that is all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to join Sean.
Celebrate your way at the Big One Sale.